Welcome students to Business 201, Business Law. I am Professor Nance. I'll be here with you on this 6-week online only accelerated class, so it's similar to the summer school pace. What you're viewing right up here is my version of what you see in the class. So this is our home page. You'll see some general information about what the class is about, that we have no required in-person meetings, but that I would love to meet you in person or over the phone. And the best ways to get a hold of me or contact me, as well as some links to our social media account. In this class, I will be posting announcements on Wednesdays for work that is due the following Sunday. However, the caveat is that I will actually do that 2 weeks in advance. So generally, every week you should be able to see what's due this Sunday and what's due 2 weeks from now. I will say sometimes I don't post until late Wednesday night, so if you have any issues, let me know, but generally you'll see some repetitive pattern about what I post. The main meat of this class is in what we call the modules page. So currently you can see the Get Started Here modules page, and if you click on the left, you can actually truncate this little section later on as you go through areas. I've also released part 1, which has multiple chapters in it, and part 2. So if I go back to business law at the beginning, there's a quick start guide for students for Canvas if you need to reference that. But the 2 main core documents you need to look at is the syllabus, which I'm going to open in a new tab, and the reading schedule. First, let me start with the reading schedule. So this shows you what upcoming readings are coming so you can plan ahead for your reading. And remember, you're going to be reading quite a bit. This is the textbook for your class, Law for Business 18th edition by Ashcroft and Patterson. This is a slightly older edition. I use that so that it saves you guys a little money. Keep in mind with this textbook, some of the chapters are relatively short. This is a very top-level review of business law. You are not becoming a formal lawyer. We are just getting you exposed to business law content and get your hands dirty on some different types of business law items. So these 4 chapters here are relatively short. They're actually not a lot of content, but you do need to read them. And you can see that I've chunked it out. What I need you to pay attention to is in this class, I don't have you read every chapter. I've taken some out. So you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For instance, 8 is missing, 10 is missing, 12 is missing. So pay attention to that as you go along. I've really highlighted what is required by the curriculum and also added a little more time for the areas that are really interesting to students. On the right, you'll see when the assessment is normally due. So I'll announce a checklist of work on Wednesdays before the Sunday that it is due at midnight, except for this first week. The first and last week can be a little odd. So the first week you actually have your introductory simple assignments due Wednesday at noon on the first week of class. But the other ones, and that's notated here that it's Wednesday 2/27 at 12 noon, midday. The other ones are due Sunday at 11:59 at midnight. Be very careful because if it's late, it's late. Even if it's a minute late, you either won't be able to get it in or it'll trigger it late and I'll give you a 0. So make sure you submit things ahead of time, and you'll see some of that same verbiage in your syllabus that I don't accept late work. Alright, so you can see even the final exam on here, and each module is built up with different types of assessment relating to the content. You can take a look at the syllabus. I do encourage you to save this. You'll see my general philosophy about the course and what I think this really means for us. Then you'll see some of the standard language around the course description, our student learning outcomes, or what we call SLOs, what you'll be able to achieve at the end of this class. I give you information about the textbook, so make sure you read this. Include that you need a printed edition. I talk a little bit about growth mindset because I think that's an important mindset to have whenever you're in any college class. And I do give a big recommendation for 2 digital resources here. The first one is the Canvas app on either your mobile device or a tablet, like a iPad or Samsung tablet. But the catch is that is a great way to access the app on the go, to check in repetitively, maybe to get some small assignments done, but ultimately you need to be logging into class through a web browser multiple times a week. 1, because I'll see what behavior you're doing. 2, you get such a different, more robust atmosphere or kind of user interface online in a web browser versus on a tablet through the app. or through your phone. So the phone is a great way. I really do recommend it because it is a great way to kind of stay in contact, to get any push alerts from me, to see any instant grade notifications, etc. But ultimately, you need to be getting onto a computer through a web browser accessing the class. Grammarly is also another program that I strongly encourage you to download. Grammarly is an application that helps you check your writing for grammar, punctuation, spelling, kind of general meaning. And it's a freemium model, so you can either join it for free or you could pay for a higher level subscription. So at this point, I just really encourage you guys to sign up for it for free. I would never mandate that you paid for it. I personally now use the paid version because I love the free version so much. But you can use it as a browser extension within your web browser, a Microsoft Office extension for PCs, although for Mac it's not really built in yet. You can also download the program onto your computer and work within the document, or within the program, or copy and paste in it, or upload a Word document into there. I have a Mac, so I don't have the Word add-on. There might be even a mobile option. I don't know if that's on the free version though, but I really recommend it. It helps me catch stuff at my level, and I think part of business is really understanding how to write, and it's like having a second pair of eyes to look on your work. You can see some other resources I have, including textbooks on reserve through the library, some resources there. You can read about what-if grades, how you can calculate your grades in Canvas. It's a great feature. The general grading scale and the grading scheme. Actually, I will update this to remove this out because I'm not sure if I'm still going to use this. I'll clarify on that in a minute. Extra credit, I do offer scheduled extra credit. I do not offer extra credit based on begging or pleading, so do pay attention. And I offer some extra credit right out the door. With the social media following, if you have social media. If not, I have course feedback at the end. There's a couple events off campus that you can go to if you want extra credit. So I have scheduled things that I allow for you guys to do, but ultimately it cannot exceed 5% of your grade. Read about academic integrity, student participation, my participation, also submitting assignments, because I am very strict. It is up to you to submit it correctly, where I said it, how I said it, and when I said it. That being oblivious to you uploaded it in the wrong spot isn't an excuse to get an extension. The only extensions that are allowed are noticed in this makeup policy here, which requires documentation within a certain amount of time, and do pay attention to drop dates, so you can read about that there. I list some information about student services, so DRC or Disability Resource Center. If you're a student who has disabilities that require certain accommodations, you need to email me your memo now. Don't wait until you want to activate your accommodations. I'd rather have your memo ahead of time so I could start setting them up for you now, whether you need them or not. SparkPoint, if you have any issues with money or housing insecurity, finances, etc., they're a great resource. And then tutoring as well. There's also a NetTutor link here. There's also tutoring on campus, and I link to general tutoring and the NetTutor info here. Lastly is the information about how to log in and some general tech tips. If you have any technical support issues, ask a friend, a family member, somebody who's more tech savvy than you. Call Canvas technical support or submit a ticket. They're really great at especially helping you directly or saying, you know what, your professor did something wrong, you need to contact her, and that occasionally does happen. But ultimately it's up to you to really proactively work to fix any technical issues. Other than that, you can read about some general rules and tips I have for success in this class, as well as these two other extra credit opportunities here involving San Francisco State. There's an info session on campus at Kenyatta and a school trip to San Francisco State's business program on March 15th. So read all that, make sure you get accustomed to the different layouts on your grades page, etc. There's a link to the library. The best way to contact me is through the inbox feature here. And really quickly, let's see if I can, I'm going to leave the student view. So this is my view, which is a little different than yours. But the best way to go in, you'll be asked to change your profile photo, but you can also change notifications here. Once you authenticate or link in a Canvas app on some mobile device, either your phone or tablet, you'll get a column here for how to customize your different types of notifications. All right. And remember, I'm just looking at my notes here, that there is a way to do what if grade calculations. So when you go to your grade book, so let me get out of my, oh, hold on. And on your dashboard, just so you know, you can actually rearrange and give these nicknames. So I can move this one first or that one first. I can give this tile a certain color that's only for me. I can also nickname it something that is just for me. So you can do it on your end just for you. Those are great tips and tricks. The other one is that when you go to the grade book, settings, hold on. I have to go into the student view. If I go to grades, under here, so you can see a lot of the assignments are released. These are estimations of dates, although I think they'll stick pretty good. But let's say I have some grades populated and some not, and I want to think, wow, what do I really need to score on this quiz to get an A in the class? What if I got a 9? Well, it can do a what if calculation, and it'll calculate your grade at the bottom based on what input you put up top. Over here, you could put revert back to actual information. In the syllabus, I linked to the tutorials on this under grading, but this says you can view your grades based on what if scores. So some great things: what if scores, changing your notification settings, changing your profile photo, using the app, making sure that you log in through the browser, and do reach out to me. You're my online students. I have my set office hours for really around my in-person class. But ultimately, if you reach out and schedule some other time with me, I'm happy to be pretty flexible. And I do, because I ask you to go through the inbox to contact me, that's because I get a push notification on my phone. So if it's something simple that I can do really quickly on my phone without referencing a computer, I'll get back to you pretty quickly even on the weekends. If it's something that requires me to get on the computer, then I won't get back to you till the next time I sit down at a computer. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'm happy to help. I'll talk to you guys soon.